Back here with another interesting program on disasters anew, a program of the Office of Disaster Management of the Commonwealth of Dominica. My name is Carlisle JnoBaptiste, Communications Officer at the Office of Disaster Management in Dominica. And today we have two beautiful ladies, both of them to my right. And we are going to have yet another interesting program. But just before I do that, I just want to remind you that there's a public speaking competition in Disaster Risk Management 2025. It's entitled Voices for Resilience. The date is November 14th, 2025. The venue, the Office of Disaster Management Conference Room. Time, 10 a.m. And some of the topics is disaster preparedness. Explain how communities can prepare before a disaster strikes. Response strategies. Describe actions to take during a disaster to reduce risk and save lives. And the third one is recovery and mitigation. Present ways to recover after a disaster and prevent or lessen future impacts. We'll get back to that and more a little later, but let my guests introduce themselves. Beautiful ladies, good morning. Introduce yourselves.
Good morning. A pleasant good morning to our listening public. My name is Glenora Paquette, and I am the Coordinator of Social Welfare Services at the Department of Social Services.
Good morning. I'm Mrs. Sandra Daniel. I'm happy to be here with you today, and I'm a counselor at the Department of Social Services.
Wonderful. So you see what I told you? We have officials from the Office of Social Welfare with us today. It's going to be a very, very interesting and interactive program here this morning. Social welfare. Tell us what social welfare means.
Well, Carlisle, we are no longer social welfare. We are the Department of Social Services.
Okay.
So, a couple years ago, yes, we were welfare division, like everybody knew. And most people, when they speak about us, they say welfare. But I'd like to say 2 years later, well, from 2023, we are the Department of Social Services.
And, some people may be asking, but what does that have to do with disaster? But we will get to that in a little while.
Yes, very
Definitely,
much so.
because it's going to be very interesting, because you'll be very surprised the things you'll want to learn today.
Yes.
Social welfare department.
Yes, so let me just state that we are now specialized. So back in the day, welfare division, the officers did everything, but now we have specialized units. So we have the director. She oversees the entire operations of the department. Then we have the social welfare services unit. And like I said earlier, I am the coordinator. So we take care of our elderly persons, older persons, persons with disabilities, public assistance program, migrants. So we take care of that. Then we have childcare and protection, who then, the public knows that they take care of the welfare of children and foster care program. Then we have the probation unit. They take care of children at risk, youth at risk. Then we have counseling unit, and it's about psychosocial intervention. And then we have gender affairs, and they look after, domestic persons who are affected by domestic violence, and they go out to the schools, they do awareness, so we are doing a lot. And then we have chances. And like everybody knows, chances, take care of our children
Good.
at risk, yes.
Wonderful. Now, in the context of disaster, we know that many times when a disaster strikes, those are the times sometimes that our children, maybe sometimes they are placed into foster homes, into the care of different people, and lots of things happen.
Okay, so let me just state that the Department of Social Services plays a central role in protecting our vulnerable populations. We assist with the shelter managers, we distribute relief, we conduct rapid needs assessments, we safeguard welfare, and we support long-term recovery and resilience. Okay, so I just wanted the listening public to know what we do when it comes to disaster risk management, definitely. So when it comes to children, what we do, we ensure that our children are safeguarded, whether they have been displaced into shelters, because there are times that, families do have to, leave their homes and go to a shelter depending on the severity of the hazard, right? So we make sure that once there's a hazard, we go in there after, ensure that, our children are safeguarded, they're with their families, and we provide whatever support that we can.
You have a difficult task, but I want to bring in the counselor a little bit. Mrs. Daniel, repeat?
Good day, Mr.
Yes. Your role as a counselor would also be a difficult one, because I guess you would have to go when things happen and try to counsel parents, guardians, and of course, young ones. Speak to us about that, please.
Okay.
Can you get a little closer to the mic? Yes, thank you.
Okay, good morning to all our listening fans and friends. Our role starts before the disaster. Actually, we have a phase, a pre-disaster phase, where we will sensitize the public about that. We encourage persons to, especially the leaders of the community, like the nurses, the pastors, the priests, and so, to look for the vulnerable individuals. You have persons who, as soon as they hear disaster, a hurricane is coming or something, they start to react, they start to get anxious, and so that is the pre-disaster phase, where you calm them, you go to them and offer some services to let them know what to do during a disaster and so forth. We provide psychosocial support. We tell them about the strategies that they can use to calm themselves and so forth. So that is pre. Now, we provide psychological first aid, because during a disaster, you cannot do a real actual counseling, because it takes weeks and it takes a process. But we do psychological first aid, where we provide emotional support to individuals, especially those in shock. I mean, during a disaster, especially a hurricane, I think there's a big fear of hurricanes since after Maria. So there are persons who will always react in shock. So we help them, we try to calm them, let them feel safe, calm, and connected. So when the individuals are identified to us, then we go to them as counselors. We have counselors all over the island. So in Tongue, the counselors in Tongue will go to those who are more vulnerable and those who are reacting, and we take care of them. Like during Erica and after Maria, we did that role. We visit those who were relocated, to different areas, and we give them psychological first aid to help to calm them. That includes strategies as well. And we assist survivors in coping with fear, grief, and confusion. We try our best to reduce panic and anxiety. We share information with them, helping them to understand what has happened. Because most time persons, especially the elderly ones, I think we reach out a lot. We have reached out a lot to elderlies. They don't understand what happened, and they're in shock, because those are the ones most times that are relocated from their homes. We give them support. And short-term support.
Okay, so yes, short-term support. We'll get to short-term support. If you're wondering, we are on DBS Radio this morning, the Office of Disaster Management, Disasters and You, and we're speaking with officials of the Social Welfare Department. Did I get it right?
Department of Social Services.
Department of Social Services. I need to get that right. Department of Social Services.
But Carlisle, I just wanted to add on what Mrs. Daniel said, that in the aftermath of a disaster, there is a coordinated effort.
I was about to ask that.
For psychosocial support.
How do you go about that?
So what we do is, like Mrs. Daniel said, that we have counselors across Dominica. The Department of Social Services, we cannot do everything, right? We cannot do everything. We have a small unit, and we have qualified persons in that unit. But we are not able to reach everybody at once. So what we do, again, like I said, there's a coordinated effort. So we coordinate with the Dominica Psychological Society. We coordinate with Dr. Wallace, and she is the director for the acute psychiatric unit.
Yes.
And we also coordinate with the school counselors and other trained counselors on island, who are able to provide the support that our people need. And in terms of psychological first aid, we know that persons who provide psychological first aid, they are not trained counselors. So what they would do as an immediate response, they would go in there, whether it be at the shelters or at the homes of our persons, who are most vulnerable, etc. Then they would provide that immediate response. A lot of times people experience anxiety. That's one of the key, symptoms post-disaster. So those who are trained in psychological first aid, they would go in there and attempt to provide with that immediate response. And persons who are in need of long-term psychological support, they will refer to the department and we will do that psychological intervention.
It's clear to me, though, that even some people was not even aware that the amount of work that you guys do, because I'm not hearing much about that, the amount of work that you do out there. So again, I'm happy to have you all there to explain to the general public, because I guess some people, when they hear of that department, they probably think of child adoption and that sort of thing.
Yes.
An incident happened to a child, a stray child, and then you come to do counseling, etc. But they seem not to have been aware that even post and pre-disaster, that you all have a central role to play in that department.
Definitely. And that is why I'm very happy that when we do get opportunities, to come on the media, we will take advantage of that, because we do need to let our public know what the Department of Social Services does. So again, it's not just about, safeguarding children and the welfare of children, but that we do a lot more than that. And again, Carlisle, maybe we need to come back on the radio as often as possible.
The Office of Disaster Management,
so
we're always open to you guys.
So that
we
can, let our public, our listening public know the services that we offer. And I must say that we work very closely with the Office of Disaster Management. Yes. Very, very, very closely. So that is a plus for us.
As soon as I came on board, I was told, you need to target this group of people. And, my plate has been filled. So I go in sequence, and then eventually, but we are here. Yes, and it's going to be a very, very interesting discussion, as I said. But again, I just want to remind our general public that there's a public speaking competition in Disaster Risk Management 2025. It's entitled Voices for Resilience, and the date is November 14th, 2025. The venue is the Office of Disaster Management Conference Room. The time is 10 a.m. and the topics: disaster preparedness. Explain how communities can prepare before a disaster strikes. The next topic is response strategies. Describe actions to take during a disaster to reduce risk and save lives. And recovery and mitigation. Present ways to recover after a disaster and prevent or lessen future impacts. And also, I need to also remind you, more competitions. There's the Youth Voices for Disaster Preparedness and Risk Reduction peer-to-peer social media competition, and that's between the ages of 12 and 18 years old. And you have to create content for social media, and it's a competition that is going to be taking place, an opportunity for you to win prizes: US $1,000, second prize US $750, and third prize US $300. And that is in conjunction with CDIMA. If you go on the website of the Office of Disaster Management, you will see all those things there. I think we have a caller on the line. Our phones are already going. We have a caller on the line. Caller, good morning. Welcome to Disasters and You. Oh, we lost that caller.
Okay.
Yes,
Carlisle,
yeah.
I just want to say, give kudos to the Office of Disaster Management. I mean,
Thank
when
you.
it comes to your communication strategy, I actually am very much impressed. I really like the work that you all are doing, especially with outreach, going out there, to provide the necessary information that the public
That's
that the
important.
public needs. Because no longer can we say when it comes to disasters that this will not happen.
Correct.
Right? A disaster can happen at any time. There's no time frame or no special time anymore when a disaster can happen. And I must say that disasters are not just hurricanes. We have 9 active volcanoes, and an earthquake can take place. Now, flooding is also a
also-
disaster.
And it's
Yeah.
now the order of the
Right,
day.
exactly, and it's now the order of the day. So I am just asking our listening public, please, whenever the Office of Disaster Management, they are having any activities, please participate. It's very important. It's for the good of you and your family.
And we have, thank you very much. We have a very
Mr.
active team. We have Miss Copel, who's going out to the schools. We were at the Dominica State College. She's doing a fantastic job. We have Janelle and the other persons out there, Fitzroy Pascal,
Craig.
and the entire group. Craig,
yes.
Craig is doing a wonderful,
Yes.
That's
excellent
right.
job.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
and praises are not too high for the team of disaster management, because they really go out there.
Yes.
And we go on our outreach programs on Saturdays. We go out to the various districts, we go to the various schools and meet the people and try to ensure that we spread the message, meet the fisher folks, because it is important. Disaster is you, disaster is me.
That's right. And I must say, maybe one of those Saturdays,
You want to join us?
I will join you
Oh,
all.
wonderful. Oh,
Definitely.
yes.
Definitely.
Yes, I will ensure that this happens. Because you
be
see,
nice.
everybody, it's essential that we have people like you guys on board with us as we go out there, meeting the people, talking to the people, explaining to the people what we are doing, what the Office of Disaster Management is doing in conjunction with you guys. So I welcome that opportunity.
Yes, and I must say that we've been having a lot of trainings with the Office of Disaster Management, and just recently we had a 2-day training for shelter managers. So I must say that most of our officers at the Department of Social Services, they are now trained shelter managers.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Again.
So
Yes.
we are definitely doing what is necessary, that in the event of a disaster, our officers are well equipped to provide the necessary support that our population needs.
How difficult is the work that you guys are doing? How difficult? Say you do not have the Office of Disaster Management and you have to go out there on your own to meet the people. How difficult is that task?
It would be difficult, and that's why I encourage networking and coordination, because no one department can do it on their
On their own, correct.
Right.
Dominica is not just a community. Dominica is an island, and we do need coordinated efforts to go across the island to be able to provide the necessary awareness,
Mrs.
for
Daniel,
our people.
your task is also a difficult one, especially dealing with counseling of people. You have to go there, counsel the young ones, counsel the elderly. How do you do
Yes.
that?
We work as a team. Right now we have 2 counselors at present right now, and we also have Mrs. Packet, who assists us off and on, because she's also a trained counselor. So we always go out in team, and not only for disasters. For example, grief for a company who has lost a loved one is similar to a disaster. So we provide grieving services for them. We go to them whenever they call us. We go to them, and counseling also is very important. And the point I wanted to make is that a lot of Dominicans don't know that service exists even in the Department of Social Services, because 2 weeks ago we had a public sensitization about suicide prevention. And what the question most persons are, you all do counseling there? I didn't know. And they even ask how much for it. But I'd like the public to know that yes, we do counseling, and it is free. It's free of charge during the week. we are government. We are government. We are employed by the government.
Government agency.
Agency, sorry. We are employed by the government, and we do counseling free of charge for children, for adults, even for elderly. Mrs. Packett and I had the opportunity of counseling quite a bit of elderly, even after the disaster, the hurricane disaster, which happened, So the counseling is free. So when we go out during disasters, it's not a thing where you charge persons. We go and we identify those in need, like Mrs. Packett mentioned, those who suffer from anxiety. Those are the ones that they are in the group that are at risk for developing other problems, because when you're in anxiety, you cannot think, you cannot function as you should. So that's where we come in and we give them strategies to help them cope with the disaster.
And Carlisle, a lot of persons don't take anxiety serious. I remember that after Maria, and I'm just speaking from my experience, right? Just like to do a little disclosure there, that even after Maria, when it rained, I would experience some
Form of
anxiety. Yes, I would. So, and I'm a counselor, and I would experience some anxiety. So it just goes to show. So imagine those who are out there that have experienced their entire roof, being destroyed and other losses, that they do need psychosocial support. So I'm just encouraging our listening public that if you do require psychological support, please, you can always call us at 266-3080 and ask for an appointment. Like I said, we have trained counselors at the Department of Social Services to provide that necessary support that you require.
And people must understand that you're not too big to feel that way, because, and like you quite rightly said, just imagine after Hurricane Maria, you're in there and you're hearing that wind, how it was pounding. Wow. And then, when things started to happen, and eventually when daybreak came, you would have lost almost everything that you would have owned. And you don't know where to start, where to move, where to turn. And then later on, you start hearing, we are again in the hurricane season.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a lot of anxiety,
Of course it is.
A lot.
That's a lot of anxiety.
We are again in the hurricane season. And even last week, when we had this, this weather condition, certain areas in Dominica, some people were complaining that, look, well, why did government call off school? I said, hello. People are coming from different areas.
Yeah.
Some people have to cross rivers. And when you see that river climbing and that ravine is starting to go down, it triggers your mind.
That's right. That's right.
It triggers your mind. And sometimes the bus driver or the driver itself is not even trained, and they say, okay, I'm going to take a chance. And you sitting there, you get almost claustrophobic. Because you are in fear, you are in fright. And that is what, again, your department is doing. And people must not be scared of coming to your department to seek that necessary help. Because that's very, very important.
Yes, it is very important.
What else do you want to say to the people in terms of the other things that you offer as it relates to assisting the general public?
Okay, so let's just look at the roles and responsibilities of DSS.
Yes.
So we serve as the primary liaison between vulnerable persons like our elderly children, persons with disabilities, our care homes, and women and men, and the Office of Disaster Management. So as you can see, we are the primary liaison there.
Yes.
Okay. We coordinate with the local government councils, NGOs, faith-based organizations, and other community groups to ensure rapid mobilization of relief support, right? And we provide representation on the National Emergency Operations Center, that's the NEOC. Again, we're also on the NIPO team as well, where our director, she's the chair of the welfare subcommittee group. Okay? Yeah, so we have representation. Yes.
Clearly, you have good representation.
Yes, we have representation.
It's just that people need to utilize the services that you offer.
Yes.
And go ahead.
And then, in terms of assessment and identification of needs, Post-disaster, we conduct rapid needs assessments, like I said earlier on, to determine the impact of disaster on our vulnerable population. We identify displaced persons and we provide psychological support and immediate relief. When it comes to our care homes, we monitor and supervise our care homes. And just yesterday, we had a Zoom consultation with our care home managers. And the aim was to strengthen our coordination, okay, and to just let them know of the strategies they need to employ and what they need to do to ensure the safety of themselves and the vulnerable persons that they house. So again, I want to say thank you to ODM because we collaborated with ODM, and then we also had a climate psychologist on the Zoom call with us who was able, to just share some strategies on how they could develop a resilient care home. So we are doing what we need to do, Carlisle. We are doing what we need to do.
Because I was sort of taken aback, I must confess, last week after our brief discussion, and then I was asking myself, why, how? But then after, further discussions, and then here I am now with you guys having that discussion. It says a lot.
Yes. So we are taking care of those we are responsible for. Yes. So we have 14 care homes on island, and there is representation. My officers, they go out as much as they can to supervise the care homes. We also supervise our centenarians. We go to their homes as often as possible to ensure that they are well taken care of, that their needs are met, and that, they have familial support. So we are out there, we are on the ground, we are doing what we need to do to ensure that our vulnerable population, they are taken care of.
Kudos.
Also,
Yes,
Mr. Carlisle, some persons would think, well, the elderly don't need counseling services, but they do. We reach out to the elderly. I have given elderly counseling. You'd be surprised what they tell you. And you realize, boy, they needed that long time. And I have worked with them, with a few of them, to get through the issues. So don't think that the elderly, 60 and above, 70 and above, 80 and above, don't need counseling. Most times they just need somebody to listen to them. If you don't listen to them, you will not know what they're going through. So we take our time to listen to them and to work with them to help them to get over whatever is troubling them. So yes, we do look out for the elderly as well with counseling.
Carlisle, I also want to say that once it has been made known that we have a disaster, all our officers are engaged. We become activated as a department. Yeah. And we put the necessary plan in place to make sure that our officers know where they need to be after the disaster to ensure that our vulnerable population, they are taken care of.
So true.
Yes.
Yeah, because again, like I said, that is what I was talking about for last week. I was supposed to have had you guys there, and then we had this weather condition, and of course, you called me and said, I'm so sorry, but we have other major priorities. Unfortunately, we have to opt out. But you are there today.
Yes.
You are there today. God ensured that, everything went well, and we are there today. How effective will you say that the work that you are doing and the people that you meet on the ground, how effective would you say that work is?
Well, as a coordinator of social welfare services and an officer of the Department of Social Services, I will say that we are doing tremendous work. Like I said, persons may not know everything that we do, and that's something that we need to correct, moving forward to let our people know exactly what we are doing. So that's just a start. But I must say we are doing tremendous work. We are doing great work. And we always have success stories. Persons who return after we've provided some form of support to them, they return and they say thank you. Thank you for the service that you are providing, and we wish you well. So we are thankful to all those who appreciate the services that the Department of Social Services provide. We want to say thank you.
Are you broken out into sort of groups or districts in terms of meeting different areas? Say you probably would have persons from this northeast, southwest. How How do you manage that? How are you all broken up into?
Yes. So I will just use my
Yes,
unit,
yes.
and I have 3 officers, and they do have different
So,
zones, right? So I have one officer from St. Joseph all the way to Capuchin,
Ooh.
yes, and Benz, and then I have another officer from Woodford Hill and to the east, La Plaine and Dalis, and also Grand Bay. I mean, we when it comes to staffing, we wish we had more staff
Yes,
because
yes.
there are a lot of communities that we need to supervise. But with the resources that we have, we are doing a great job. And then I also have another officer for Roseau and Environs. Yes.
So it's although it's a small staff, but you are covering a huge district.
Yes,
because
yes.
St. Joseph to Capuchin, it's really huge.
big.
Yes, yes, yes. It's really huge. But I must say that, again, we work as a team. We work as a team. I cannot stress on that more, but we do work as a team.
You're like
So
ODM.
yes, so wherever that we need support, the other officers of DSS, they do come in and they provide that support. So
That's
even
important.
with childcare and protection, again, wherever that the officers need support, the rest of the staff, they do provide that support. So whoever is providing whatever services or activities, the rest of the team, we are there to provide that support.
So, Mr. Carlisle, if I may say something.
Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
Okay, also in line with counseling, I must say kudos to the nurses, the pastors, and the priests because they have some form of training in pastoral counseling. So they also assist in that area when we go out to the community. They really help to give whatever counseling. And as nurses, during nursing school, we were trained give some form of counseling. So during the disaster time, we have the nurses playing their part, the priests, the pastors, we have other community leaders. So it's not just the counselors alone, but we go out, but we also have a team and we have coordination and support from these persons.
How do you manage chances when it comes to a disaster? How do you end up managing chances? Because of course you have the vulnerable children are there. They will need that psychological support. They will hear of a storm, and maybe sometimes they may be saying, "Boy, I need to go at my home." How do you find yourself there and put their minds at rest? That anxiety, that fear. How do you do that?
Actually, we do it. We'll do it as a group. We'll give them the support and love, and we make them sit and we listen to them. Children have their stories too. We listen to them. Most times they would talk about fear, the fears that they feel because some of them actually saw loved ones fall sick and passed during those disasters. So we listen to them and we calm them. We allow them to voice how they feel, and we do breathing exercises with them, relaxation techniques. We have something we call grounding techniques where we use that to help them. And basically listening to them and giving them support, letting them know that they are safe with us. We are there for them.
So the name for that is Return to Happiness. Yes. So in the aftermath of a disaster, the Child Care and Protection Unit, they engage in Return to Happiness program with our children. So it goes for chances children and also those who are in foster care.
I love that name, Return to Happiness.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it's sweet, man, because they would be out there unhappy, and your role now is to ensure that they return to happiness.
Yes. And also, even within the shelters, that our officers would go into the shelters.
Because I wanted to ask that question.
Yes,
but you brought it up. Yes.
to provide support as well.
Yes, because we have a number of shelters. Last week I delved into the amount of shelters that we have.
Yeah.
It might be difficult for you to go to the various shelters, but I guess you will group yourself up nicely and ensure that at least your presence is felt.
Yes, and that is very important. That is very important.
Because I tell people, when people get to the shelters, their mind, some of them, they think of their homes and they think of their little pets. And they although they know that they're not supposed to take the pets with them, but they want to find out, well, what is happening to my home? Did you pass by my home? Is everything okay by my home? You have to speak to them.
Yes, yes, yes. We definitely have to provide that kind of support, because in the aftermath of a disaster, there's a sense of unknown. We're not really sure what's happening, especially if you had to be displaced, you know. Obviously, the thoughts that would be going through your mind would be, I wonder what is the status of my home, and if you had animals, whether my dog or my cats, they are actually there, or whether they found a safe place to shelter the storm. You know, so all of these thoughts go through your mind, and it creates anxiety.
Yes.
It creates stress. You know, so a lot of persons who maybe behave erratic in the shelters, it's just because that they have that sense of unknown, not knowing exactly what is going on, you know, at their homes, at their place of residence, you know. Because losing your home is a loss, and it's a major loss, especially if you had a mortgage to pay. You know, again, what is going to become of that mortgage? How am I going to continue paying the bank? You know, all of these, you know, thoughts go through our people's minds.
Yes, and also, Mr. Carlisle, Mrs. Packet mentioned strategies. I just wanted to touch on 3 of them. Okay, so we teach stress management techniques such as relaxation, grounding, and healthy routines. Grounding grounding strategy is something we really use with clients. For example, 5 things you look around you. Yes, it's a disaster, but you look around you, and you kind of look for 5 things you see. Okay, I can see the sky now. The clouds have disappeared. There's no rain. So you look at 5 things, and you try to breathe in, breathe out. 4 things you can hear. We're trying to get you to relax. 3 things you feel, so you can actually go around feeling. You can feel the leaves. Okay, there are some trees still have leaves. Okay, the wall is there, so that is hope for me that I can rebuild. 2 things you smell. Okay, wow, as if the air smelling nicer than before the hurricane. Clean air, you smelling the food. Wow, why feeling hungry? Just now the food will be ready. And 1 thing you can taste. So this is a way of trying to relax. It's temporary, but it will help you. And also mindfulness. You focus on the present moments with your thoughts, your feelings, etc. Because if you focus on the future, this also, as Mrs. Packet mentioned, it bring on anxiety, fears, and different feelings, that anger that you don't need at the time. You need to focus on relaxing yourself and to help you to face tomorrow, every tomorrow. So you focus on today, doing these things to face every tomorrow. And this is what some of the coping strategies we use as well.
Mrs. Packet, I'm sure you would have met, in you going out there, some traumatized individuals and some extremely difficult individuals who are trying to cope with what would have happened and seem not to understand. How do you handle a situation like that?
Okay, yes, I mean, we've had lots of experiences, Mrs. Daniel, after Erica and even after Maria.
Yes.
And even that trough that took place in
December, I think.
in December,
Yes,
and then there was another one on the East Coast.
Correct,
as
yes.
well,
Right.
San Sauve area. So we did go out there to provide that support and also to do our rapid needs assessments. You know, so we have, you know, interface with persons who have been a bit, quote unquote, I will say, appear to be resistant, you know. But again, having an understanding that these types of behaviors, you know, they are normal. So a person being resistant, that is a normal behavior. And we should just bear these things in mind and have an understanding of the types of behaviors that people can exhibit in the aftermath of a disaster. And to demonstrate patience because as officers, as service providers, we do need to have patience. And what we do need to do is to ask, what is your immediate need? And then once they are able to tell us, then we assist them to be able to get that immediate need. Because everybody has an immediate need, whether it be water, whether it be food, whether it be wanting to know what has happened to their homes, their family members, etc. Everybody has an immediate need. And while we may not be able to, in terms of what has happened to their home, give them that information, but we can refer them to the right services that can be able to provide them with that information. So again, like I said, it's about a coordinated effort. So it's not just one agency trying to do everything, but we collaborate with all the agencies who are responsible for disaster management.
If you're wondering what we are talking about, we are there on Disasters and You and the Department of Social Services. Did I get it right this time?
Yes, you did.
Right, Department of Social Services, Disasters and You, and it's a program of the Office of Disaster Management. And as you heard Mrs. Packett said, and Mrs. Daniel, they have been working in close collaboration with the Office of Disaster Management as we work together to bring forth the necessary information. Again, I just need to remind you that we have a public speaking competition in Disaster Risk Management 2025, Voices for Resilience. And I keep reminding you that the date is November 14th. And we also have something at the Dominica State College that my colleague Joanne Coppel is also coordinating at the Dominica State College. We were at the Dominica State College, and they have also to do some programs there, and we'll be going back there sometime next week. So the Voices of Resilience, November 14th, 2025, ODM, Office of Disaster Management Conference Room, time 10 a.m. Disaster preparedness, and explain how communities can prepare before a disaster strikes. And remember, there are prizes to be won. Response strategies, describe actions to take during a disaster to reduce risk and save lives. And number 3, recovery and mitigation. Present ways to recover after a disaster and prevent or lessen future impacts. John, you're doing a wonderful job. And of course, Craig and Chanel and Fitzroy and the rest of the team at the Office of Disaster Management.
Something that you said just now there, knowing what to do before a disaster strikes. We must not take that lightly, This is critical information that our public, actually all of us, need to have to be able to prepare ourselves.
That's correct.
Adequately. So when we hear of an impending disaster, we need to know what are the necessary steps that we need to take to ensure safety of ourselves and our homes and family members and everything that concerns us.
Yeah.
We need to have that information, because sometimes you may find people, it's just a storm, rain, we might get thunder, lightning, but we good. No, not anymore. Back in the day, we could have said, rain, okay, that's a good time for us to sleep. Or it's okay, it will pass. We'll just get a little, a little wind. That's not now. Things have changed drastically, and we need to have a plan in place. So I am just asking our listening public, if you do not have a disaster plan, please, it is important that you start thinking of a disaster plan for your home, and encourage your families and your friends to also have a disaster plan for themselves.
And we keep stressing that always. Every week when I come there, I remind them that you are in the hurricane season. Are you ready? Are you ready? When the hurricane strikes, when the information goes out. And, sometimes people wait for the last minute.
Always.
I do not know why our population, they're like that. They always wait for the last minute. They run to ACS, to Astafan, to Jolly's Pharmacy, to get their medication, to do this, to do that.
Yeah. So true.
Yeah, that's so true, because we tend to have this hope that, okay, although the Met Office says that it's 300 or 400 miles away, maybe it might just turn
Turn.
northwest or north. So we'll just hold on just a little bit and see where it goes before we can actually put plans in place.
That is not so. That is not so, my people. When the information is put out there, you need to take action.
Yes.
You need to be ready. Like the thief in the night, he will come. You do not be like the 12 virgins, 5 with their lamps, etc. Do not be like them. Be always ready and be prepared. And as we keep saying to you, the Department of Social Services, they have their work cut out for them. They work. You also work, I assume, with the fire department.
Oh yes,
Yes,
very
yes,
closely.
yes,
Very
yes.
closely. We work with the fire department, we work with the police stations. We do have a coordinated effort. We also provide psychosocial support to the officers, the fire officers. We provide that support because they are first responders. And we must not take the work of first responders lightly. Because they are the ones who are there and they see everything. Some things that are just, how should I say it? It can cause immediate trauma. Right? And these fire officers, they go out, they respond, and the things that they come across, it can be difficult for them.
And the way they would have handled that situation also can make your job either easier or heavier.
Yes.
I think we have a caller on the line who probably wants to share some information. Caller, good morning to you. Welcome to Disasters and You.
Yeah, good morning, Carlisle.
Hi, morning.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm listening. Very interesting, and good pointers. But Carlisle, I don't know if it's a part of our culture that we last minute. We like the line up, we like the excitement, all the grocery stores, I don't know. And they've been saying that since the first day of the hurricane, go up, have food, they keep, one in us, and then we just like last minute. Something part of our culture.
Maybe that is
Anyway,
part of our culture.
Yeah, very good program. I'm listening, and thank you for the information.
You're so
You're
very
welcome.
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 The social services and all these services. Oh, really good. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you. And she's right. She's right. Like I said earlier, we do wait in hope that the storm, it will divert.
And it does not divert. It comes and we are not prepared.
Well, that is it. So we are really hoping that moving. Let me just state.
Before you go, I think we have an next caller.
Okay.
Let's take that caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to Disasters and You.
The storm, it will divert. And it does not divert. It comes and we are not prepared. Well, that is it. So we are really.
Yeah, we seem to have some difficulties with that caller. Yes, you were saying, Mrs.
I
Packard.
was just going to say that, preparedness for disaster should not just be from June 1st. It should be a year-round thing. So we don't have to wait when June 1st comes and then we hear we may have 12 known storms or 12 major hurricanes. I'm just saying, for example,
yes.
or 2 normal hurricanes or 3 tropical storms. We should not wait for that time. We should already been preparing, whether we have to get some shutters made, we have to change certain things on our home, whether we have to change our doors, whether we have to fix that galvanizer that has been there with holes in it, whether we have to clean our drains and just even make a water path so that the water does not go under the house. Or all of those things we need to be engaged, actively engaged in these things all year round.
Indeed, and even to get your little bits and pieces, your biscuit, your cricks, and all those things there. I always tell people, don't wait for the last minute, because if you wait for the last minute, there's supposed to be a family disaster plan checklist, and if you go through that, we have that at the Office of Disaster Management. If you go to our website, you will also get that. So do not be scared of going to the website. We provide you with information every week. Every week, we also have an emergency checklist that you ought to be aware of. A few weeks ago, we were at Jolly's, the various Jolly's. Went to Jolly's in Portsmouth. We were at Jolly's in Forcoley. We went to Jolly's in Roseau. We collaborate.
Yes.
And like you quite rightly said, collaboration does a lot.
Yes.
Teamwork, because if you fail to plan, you definitely plan to fail.
That's right. That's right. And monitoring and evaluation is very important, because a lot of times we come with plans, we devise plans, we establish plans, but we fail in the evaluation aspect. There's nothing that can be perfect. What we have to do is every year that we have meetings, we engage stakeholders, and we continue to evaluate our services and our programs to ensure that we are actually meeting the needs of our people.
Very good. And also very important, if you are not a team player, then forget it. Because if you have people working around you who are not working with you, they are not team players, then definitely they're going to make your work much difficult for you. And of course, at the Office of Disaster Management, that is why our entire team, we work with the various departments, the police, the social welfare department, etc., and all the various stakeholders to ensure that the work that we do, it is for the people, and we are with the people, and the people gather and get the various information that we have to disseminate. We have just about 4 minutes.
Wow, that went by very quickly, I must say. But I also want to say that even with the Department of Social Services, we work as a team. There's a coordinated effort when it comes to our services and our activities, and we do our best to provide the necessary services to our population.
Okay, to the public, Mr. Carlisle, what we plan to do a little more of the first responders, and we plan to do debriefing sessions more with them, the first responders, because they also are affected, and we tend to forget that they're affected too. They lost house, they probably lost their home, their roof, and so on. They cannot even be with their families during that time because they have to attend to the public. So we'll make more time out for them to listen to them, even the nurses, and so we'll do debriefing, allow them to vent, allow them to, talk about their hurts and so forth. We plan to do more of that during disasters.
During disasters.
Yes.
As we wrap up, let's get some final comments. We will be back, definitely.
Oh,
right?
yes.
We have to be back.
Definitely.
This is a department I will need it to be back because we have a lot more to discuss on this program. So let's do a wrap-up session now.
Okay, well, I must say I'm very elated to be here today.
Me too.
And we're hoping that we will be back to provide, our listening public with the necessary information that they require, because disaster is everybody's business. It's not just a you thing or an I thing, it's an us thing. And we need to have the relevant information so that we can support ourselves and others who are also in need. So it's not just the Department of Social Services and ODM and other agencies, but if you can provide support to your community members, your neighbors, those who are in need, then do so. It's very, very important. So, Carlisle, I just want to say thank you very, very much. And I'm hoping that at some point we can come back and we can, just discuss some strategies on stress management, self-care, and how to build resilience. And that's very important for our listening public. So once again, I want to say thank you and have a blessed day.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Danielle.
Okay, I also want to say thank you. But just to, in summary, counseling in disasters goes beyond listening. It stabilizes survivors, prevents long-term trauma, fosters resilience, and supports both the individual and community recovery. It also ensures that emotional wounds are addressed alongside physical needs like food and shelter. God bless you all and take care.
Thank you very much, and that's how we take it a wrap on this program, Disasters Anew, for yet another Tuesday here on DBS Radio, a program organized by the Office of Disaster Management in the Commonwealth of Dominica. Join us next week, Tuesday, same time, 9:30 to 10:30, right here on DBS Radio. My name is Carlisle JnoBaptiste, Communications Officer at the Office of Disaster Management, saying goodbye and so long.